Hi everyone, thanks for having me. So I'm Sharlini Sankaran. I just started less than 2 months ago as director of this new project. It's a North Carolina-wide project called Research Engagement and Capabilities Hub of North Carolina, or as we like to call it, REACH-NC. REACH-NC is really a collaboration between the University of North Carolina system students, of which there are 15, and Duke University, and we're in talks with other North Carolina institutions as well. And then the premise behind it was that, you can, if you really want to contact a researcher and you know what you're looking for, it's going to take quite a bit of Googling to find them, and then even then you could cold call them and may or may not get a response. There's no really central repository to get a good overview of the university's level of expertise. Before my current job, so I was with the North Carolina Department of Commerce for a little while, and this was a common thing I heard from economic developers. They needed university expertise all the time to evaluate new technologies, to work with companies. Unless you knew somebody who knew somebody within the university system, it was really difficult to get in touch with people. And then similarly with businesses who are looking to hire consultants, people who are looking to collaborate. So REACH-NC really started, the idea started in May 2009, long before I started. And these little dots are all the institutions that are now part of REACH-NC. We're in phase 2. So those pale blue and dark blue dots are the UNC system schools. Duke University is in Duke blue, which is a darker blue, and RTI is that square thing, and Wake Forest University is that yellow thing that we hope to bring on board for phase 3. So just to give you an idea of the scope of this project, the pilot phase had selected UNC and NC State profiles, and I'll go into what all REACH-NC contains and the functionality, and I'll do a demo, so just bear with me as I go through just a couple of slides. So we launched the pilot phase, with about I think it was about 1,000 researchers profiled from select UNC and NC State University schools. And, we haven't really done a big media or publicity blitz, so, we've had a decent amount of traffic. We just a couple of weeks ago put the rest of the 13 institutions online. So we now have the capability to search for nearly 5,000 experts across the UNC system. When all said and done, we anticipate having about 16,000 people available through this system. And I'll get into all the details when I do the live demo, but if you pull up a typical expert profile page, this is what you'll see now. REACH-NC, like I said, we just launched the second phase a couple of weeks ago, so this is a very evolving system. We'll be adding new content. Right now, you have this, what they call this digital fingerprint of this person, Dr. Hardy's research interest. So you can see that you can't see this, it's a little tiny writing, but Dr. Hardy is an expert in plant proteins, amino acid sequencing, something I can't pronounce, and these are his recent publications, and there's a list of other experts across the UNC institutional network that have similar expertise areas. We will have grants data available on here as well that displays the grants and the funding that has been awarded to this researcher. We've got the most commonly published journals over here, and you'll see when I do my live demo that we've got some interesting visualizations that you can use to sort of dig deeper into this person's research activity and collaborations and institutional networks. So I just wanted to give you some examples of how people have told us they're using the system and how this tool has already been useful to people. People have used REACH to identify speakers for external events, for conferences, or to partner. People have used REACH to find internal experts to do internal proposal reviews for limited submission opportunities, for example. People have used, so these are examples of usage within the UNC system. People have used it to identify faculty eligible for an award that they may not be aware of. There may be a faculty member there that you, as a university administrator, you may not know, how much that person has published and how well they fit into this funding opportunity without doing a lot of legwork. So a tool like this gives you a good starting point. Our own Leanna Fryer for NC State says she uses it almost every day for a broad variety of purposes. And Leanna's back there nodding, so you can ask her if she's in the Red
It's not a made-up quote.
It is a verbatim quote.
I approve this message.
So we're also finding that it's a very versatile tool because it just contains so much information for external usage as well. It's identifying collaborators, speakers, requests for technical expertise. The North Carolina Department of Commerce contacted us. They needed to identify an expert who could do a study for them on the feasibility of implementing a particular policy. So they were able to use ReachNC to identify someone and then use our campus points of contact to contact that person. So that was a very neat way this tool has been used. So without further ado, let me switch to the live site as it is right now. So this is just a landing page. It's got a little bit of history and general contact information. This big green bar here says click to view ReachNC profiles. This was built with our vendors Elsevier, and the publications database that we use is Scopus. So the profiles here are based off of Scopus publications, and in the future we are looking at Vivo and other sources of enriching these profiles. The grants data is based off our own internal grant system, so a lot of cleanup had to be done. You can imagine with 15 different universities with different sizes, different research activity, different manpower, there was not really a uniformity of data. So in order to be able to import all the grants data into one system, a lot of data cleanup has to be done. So there's still some technical glitches, which is why the grants data is not currently displayed. But the whole goal of building the system was to require minimal to no input from individual faculty members to get their profiles online. Once it's online, there is an option where you as a faculty member could go in and enhance your profile. You can add additional publications, you can add book chapters, etc. So eventually we'll have course data, we'll have I did say course data, patents, book chapters, conference proceedings, and other measures of faculty activity. So you'll see at this home page, how much time do I have? About 5 minutes? This homepage, you'll see all the institutions that are currently on the system, from Appalachian State University all the way down to Winston-Salem State University. So each university selected a particular department or departments to put profiles online first. This is a staggered process. So you'll see, for example, UNC Greensboro has the School of Nursing online right now. In the future, they will have more profiles available on the live site. So you could click on one of these and look at the experts that are listed, or you could click on one of the publications and look at the experts that are listed, or you could do a search. You could search by concept, by last name, or by full text. Full text is very helpful if you have an abstract or an excerpt from an article and you'd like to find out more. You just cut and paste it into the full text. Last name is self-explanatory. So by concept, let me just really quickly type in biofuels. So if you type in biofuels, there are 23 experts categorized as engineering and 23 as medicine and life sciences. I'm just clicking on the first one. 23 experts were found across the system. I realize this might be kind of hard for you to read. Most of those are at NC State University. A few are from North Carolina A&T State University. So Elizabeth City State University, Eastern Carolina. So knowing the UNC system as I do, that's about what I expected. Those are schools that have engineering departments. So right here, you can add or remove your search terms. The search algorithm suggested additional concepts that you can use to refine your search. Let's see, I'm going to go down. I find maybe something that, let's do bacteria. That looks, well, I don't know. Let's do sugar. Crops. This is completely on the fly. So when I search for both of those terms, biofuels and crops, that narrowed my search result to 13 experts. At this point, I could export this to a CSV file. I could save the search results, save the publications, then I have it to manipulate as I want. I could click on Dr. Jaw. So I clicked on one of the researchers' profile, and his particular expert profile comes up. Here's all his areas of expertise as identified by the algorithm. Here are his recent publications. Here are similar experts. Here is his institutional network. Here are the external organizations that he has collaborated with, and you could expand any of those to see the publications that he has co-authored. Here's the co-author network that he has collaborated with. You could click on Dr. Jaw's research trends. This is kind of a neat visualization. This is a relatively new faculty member. He started publishing in 2003, and all of these little colors mean something. He has published on watersheds, rivers, water quality, water pollution, soils, and you can see over time he's been publishing on stream flow. So you could visualize this person's, if this person has changed. So you could slide this bar and say, I really want to narrow in on this person's research activity the last 4 years. So if this person really used to be very much more active in another field, then you could figure out, well, I don't really want to contact this person because he's not published anything in the field I'm interested in the last 12 years. So that's just a neat visualization. You could go down here and look at, actually, let me go back home, and I'm going to start my search over again to find someone with more collaboration. So I typed in obesity, came up with, let's see, I'm actually going to, do this on the fly. I'm going to go by last name and search for someone who's pretty well known, Dr. Barry Popkin, who's a researcher in obesity who's on the news a lot. So Dr. Popkin's profile, he's done a lot of research to obesity, diet, nutrition, energy intake. So if I went to his institutional network, you'll see all the internal, external collaborations. You'll see the trends. So Dr. Popkin actually started publishing in 1972. So you'll see all the publications from 1972 onward, and you'll see that there are peaks of activity and sort of changes in research area trends. If you go to Research Network, you will see a visualization of everyone that Dr. Popkin has collaborated with. And I'm going to click here to stop this circular thing. So the size of the dots and the strengths of the line mean different strengths of collaboration, different numbers of publications. And you could click on any one of those lines or any one of those dots to take you to the profile of another researcher that's also profiled in the system. So am I sort of running out of time, or am I good?
120.
120, okay, so that was just a very broad overview, and like I said, this is a relatively new project. We've got big plans to put the grants data online. We're searching for other automated or semi-automated sources of data, such as books, book chapters, conference proceedings, patents. So hopefully, as we continue to identify more of these sources, this data will be even richer. And as we have more institutions online, you'll be able to see more collaborations. Right now, we have it set up so that each campus has a central point of contact. We do not have the individual faculty members' email and phone numbers on here. And that was an institutional level, institution-wide decision for various reasons. One of them being to make sure that whoever made the inquiry got a response in a timely manner. And, if you're a person that you're trying to contact is on sabbatical, you may not know that. Or, that person is just so overwhelmed, there might be another expert that could help you. So that's one reason. The other reason is that, we just felt that at least for our faculty in our system, that was the way to go, to have an intermediary make the introduction. You could always, nothing's going to stop you from Googling this person and looking up their email and calling them. And, we know that, and that's perfectly fine. So I heard the beeping.
Okay,
I think that means my time's up.
All right. Should we thank our speaker?